Hello everyone and welcome back to a short Q&A video giving you a bit more details on the resiliency options when it comes to the cloud hosted components. As I'm sure you're all aware by now, uh, a VeloCloud solution has three components, right? So you have the VCs, so these are the VeloCloud edges. You have the VCGs, which are the gateways, the control plane, and also what you use if you want to do any sort of cloud on ramp, and the VCO, which is the orchestrator, the management plane that allows you to communicate and configure the state, troubleshoot, push new policy, etc. Now, because we designed the system based on software-defined principles, it was imperative to decouple the data control and management planes to allow our solutions to scale. The most common offering takes these two components and offers them as a managed solution by VMware. So our tech ops team will enable this in each of our regions, and then we'll monitor them 24/7. But what happens if any of these two components failed? And we will start with the orchestrator. If the orchestrator fails, any traffic crossing the VCE will be processed based on the last known config. Also, if you have any sort of non-VeloCloud sites tunnels, these are IPsec tunnels to any third-party IP address, they will maintain their operation, and also, most importantly, the rekeying will still take place. Also, the statistics are cached locally up to 24 hours. Now, if you think 24 hours is not a lot, you should remember that our tech ops monitor all the systems constantly. They have a lot of alarms that are set to trigger in case of any sort of strange behavior, not just the whole thing going down. And they have a procedure in place to activate what we call the standby VCO. So for any live active VCO, there is also a standby one that is activated in the same region. It is also receiving a live feed to synchronize with the primary. And again, in a state of failure, the ops team will move everything to the standby. Also, to clarify, the DNS mapping also changes. So from an admin point of view, there is no different URL that you have to access. Nothing will change. The expected recovery time objective is less than 60 minutes. And remember that the data plane remains unaffected. So actually, end users at the branches, offices, etc., will not even see that anything has happened. Also, the system is coded to take snapshots every few hours. So in case something catastrophic happens, we have an idea of the configurations, the statistics, etc., anything that is stored in the cloud. And every week, the latest snapshot actually gets put in long-term storage, where it will remain for a year before it is actually deleted. What happens if we lose a gateway? It all depends on the role that the gateway is performing. We talked that from a control plane perspective, each edge will have a primary, a secondary, and also a pair of super gateways. So if the primary controller fails, then the secondary takes over. If both of them fail, then the super gateway takes over. If you're using the gateway for any sort of SaaS forwarding, this is where we use the primary gateway to forward traffic. In case that fails, we will go to a direct internet access model. So the edge itself will do the NATing as opposed to the primary gateway. I'm saying this because you should be expecting any sessions to drop because of that NAT change. If you are using the gateway as a way to do branch to branch, if the primary gateway fails, the secondary gateway will take over in the same manner as the control traffic works. Last but not least, if you're using the NVS option, so this is where we use the gateway to connect to a third-party via IPsec, always remember to select the redundant option, because if you don't, if the gateway fails, the whole circuits go down. And this concludes our lesson for the day. Just to summarize, any component that we at VMware host for you has disaster recovery mechanisms associated with it. Because of the separation between the data management and control plane, if one of these components goes down, the others are not affected, so that's great news. And there's a lot of thought that is put behind both the gateways failing, but most importantly, the orchestrator, in the fact of us having already a standby up and running and ready to go, and also that we are taking these snapshots that we keep also in cold storage in case something really bad happens.